layers of metal. Part Dynasty Warriors, part roguelite, and part Mel Gibson. Okay, well, maybe we don't want that last part, but this game's kinda cool, and it's an open beta. Tears of Metal is a medieval hack-and-slash co-op roguelike. Carve through hordes of enemies to reclaim your island with the help of your formidable Scottish battalion. As you advance deeper into the trenches, uncover more about the mysterious dragon meteor and the treacherous enemy invasion. Oh yeah, I see you there hovering over the like and subscribe button. Do it now. Now, the first thing that sticks out immediately is the combat and how simplistic it feels at first. During this open beta phase, this game feels extremely simple. Along with the standard dodge roll, which is like in every single game now, you also have light, heavy attacks, and block. While we have access to only one character, the one who's kind of like Mel Gibson-esque, think Braveheart more than Passion of the Christ. With this open beta character, I think we're kind of shown like the most basic style of gameplay. And that's reflected with the combos even. We're talking like 3 light attacks in a row, or 2 light attacks with a heavy finisher. But there are some nuances in the combat, and I'm hoping in the style of character that kind of helps us progress around some certain enemies. For example, with the Mel Gibson character, if you hold block and then press 2 light attacks, you'll do a shield breaking stance. Oh, here's an addendum for combat. After defeating X amount of enemies or so, you'll have access to party attacks. And depending how you outfit your party with more swordsmen, spearmen, or archers, it'll change and shift damage on what attacks you tend to use. There's also a straight out special attack, where in the case of Mel Gibson's character here, he commands an army of arrows to kind of wave through all the enemies. I'm really hoping each character has a different special attack, just for that extra nuance to different characters, so we're not seeing the same thing all the time. Now, we only have access to one character at the moment, but kind of looking at the style of this game, I feel like the other characters are gonna be kind of outlandish and just downright fun to use. I put about 2.5 hours into this whole beta, which is 2 hours more than I thought I would. Now, during those 2 hours, I died a lot. I was only able to complete kind of like this first stretch of the demo campaign just once, and that's due to the roguelike elements and upgrades you pick up along the path
to defeat the invaders.
Now, from what we've seen from the demo, there are kind of like these elements you can use to upgrade your attacks, your dodges, and even your blocks. And sometimes there's static abilities as well, such as healing after killing a certain amount of enemies or even from taking damage. The elements I've seen include vortex, explosion, and this weird heat-seeking missile thing. Now, when choosing upgrades, depending on where you choose to attack next on the map is kind of the path you choose to take for your upgrades. And that's where the fun of this game really starts to pull through. As I mentioned earlier, I died quite a few times. Yes, it's mostly due to negligence and incompetence. However, I found that the abilities I chose also definitely helped with surviving. In one of my more successful open beta runs, the healing path absolutely helped me destroy mine enemies. Along with doing vortex damage whenever I would roll, attack, or block, I also had the chance to actually heal after every battle. Healing is not automatic, and I think the dangers of not healing or choosing when to heal outside in the map is the kind of risk and reward we take. Oftentimes when you spawn into a map, you can find treasure, or actually you can unlock items there just by using the coins you pick up from defeating enemies. And in having this healing ability in one of my runs, instead of all of them, completely changed the outcome of this first boss battle. In fact, I thought I was doing so well, I took an extreme gamble with this rare item. This item boosted my attack by 100%, but it also cut my health down by a ton. Normally my incompetence would have ensured my downfall, but because I had the healing path paired with this item, I felt like I was an unstoppable machine. And again, that's when I was able to actually beat this boss. So it's interactions like these I'm really looking forward to in the full game. That risk and reward really drives pathetic gamblers like me, and I think it's just so much fun to kind of build this on the fly. And of course, when the inevitable does occur and you do die, which I'm sure will happen a lot, you're given a moniker, aka a temporary bonus for next time. So you're not completely starting over from the very beginning. You'll have some buffs, and when collecting currency and upgrading back at your home base, those upgrades will actually stay with you for the long run. But utilizing everything proficiently, like the block and knowing when block stamina runs out, I felt like I was thriving. And it honestly got me wanting to play a lot more. Now, as for complaints in this open beta, I do have a few, combat being the highest priority. There's this little game you might have heard of, Rise, Son of Rome. It was the launch title for the Xbox One, and boy, when it was released, it looked awesome. Now when we're talking about brain cell count, that's one low at the totem pole. But you know what? I absolutely loved that game because it was so flashy. The executions kept me coming back just because it was so badass to chop off some dude's arm in this very cinematic Batman-esque style of gameplay. But being an old school gamer and having Dynasty Warrior syndrome, I myself love kind of like hacking and slashing through hordes of enemies. I wish this game had a bit more flash to it, and I do wish there could be some kind of like executions outside of the special moves. I think it would just be so visually cool given this cel-shaded style of gameplay. I'd also like to see some enemy variety. If this open beta kind of spells what we're in for, then we're gonna see the same sub-bosses over and over and over. The first world boss we get to fight is so much more different than any other enemy you see. And I'm not only talking about the physical scale of the enemy, but the animations, the name, even the voice acting was just so completely different than what we've seen building up to that point. And that was so cool. However, one of the first few times I was making my way up through the map, I fought the same sub-boss twice in a row. In that case, it felt very much like Dynasty Warriors, where you defeat Cao Cao in one battle and then see him in the next. It seemed like there were no repercussions to beating this lieutenant or sub-boss. Now I know I can't expect anything like the Nemesis system in Shadow of War, but it'd be nice to see some more consequence as to defeating these sub-bosses and generals. And that's my take on the open beta, but you know what? I'm gonna shut up, don't listen to me, play it yourself and let me know.